Memory-based diseases in psychology. Introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to explore memory not just as a fascinating cognitive process, but as a fragile one, vulnerable to disease, trauma, and distortion. While memory allows us to learn, grow, and stay connected to our past, it can also fail in profound ways. Our discussion will cover amnesia, dementias, common memory errors, PTSD, and other conditions where memory malfunctions. Amnesia. Let's begin with amnesia, one of the most well-known memory disorders. Amnesia refers to the loss of long-term memory due to disease, physical trauma, or psychological trauma. There are two major types. Anterograde amnesia, the inability to form new memories after the event that caused the amnesia. Perhaps the most famous case is Henry Molaison, or HM. After doctors removed parts of his hippocampus to treat epilepsy, HM could no longer create new memories, even though his intelligence and personality remained intact. Imagine living in a permanent present, unable to remember what you had for lunch or even who visited you an hour ago. Retrograde amnesia, the inability to recall events that happened before the trauma. This type is often depicted in movies, though in real life it usually affects specific time periods rather than wiping out all past memory. Another example is Korsakoff's syndrome, usually caused by chronic alcoholism and vitamin B1 deficiency, leading to both retrograde and anterograde memory problems. Patients often confabulate. They unintentionally make up stories to fill in memory gaps. Dementias. Moving beyond isolated amnesia, we come to dementias, which involve broader and progressive memory decline. The most common is Alzheimer's disease, a neurodegenerative condition. Early signs include forgetting recent events or conversations, but as the disease progresses, it can erode language, reasoning, and eventually even recognition of loved ones. On a biological level, Alzheimer's is associated with amyloid plaques and tau tangles that disrupt communication between neurons. Other dementias include frontotemporal dementia, which changes behavior and personality, and Lewy body dementia, which blends memory loss with hallucinations and motor symptoms. In all these conditions, memory loss is not just frustrating, it profoundly alters identity and relationships. Third, memory errors and distortions. Now, not all memory problems stem from disease. Cognitive psychologist Daniel Schacter outlined the 7 sins of memory, which remind us that memory is inherently flawed. Transience. Memories fade with time. Absentmindedness. Lapses when our attention is elsewhere. Blocking. The tip of the tongue phenomenon. Misattribution. Confusing the source of a memory. Suggestibility. Forming false memories due to external influence. Bias. Reshaping memories to fit our current beliefs. Persistence. Intrusive, unwanted memories. A classic example of suggestibility comes from Elizabeth Loftus's work on eyewitness testimony. When participants were asked how fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other, they reported higher speeds and even remembered seeing broken glass that wasn't there. These errors show us how easily memory can be distorted, raising big questions for the legal system. IV, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Persistence leads us directly into PTSD, where memory doesn't fade, but instead intrudes into daily life. People with PTSD relive traumatic events through flashbacks, nightmares, and intense emotional responses. The amygdala and hippocampus are central here. The amygdala tags memories with emotion, while the hippocampus situates them in time. In PTSD, this balance is disrupted. Traumatic memories feel as if they are happening now, rather than being anchored in the past. This makes PTSD both a memory disorder and an emotional one. V. Other disorders with memory dysfunction. Memory problems also appear in several other psychological conditions. Depression often comes with impaired episodic and working memory, contributing to the fog many patients describe. Schizophrenia is marked by deficits in working memory, which underlies some of the cognitive difficulties seen in the disorder. Epilepsy, particularly temporal lobe epilepsy, can disrupt memory networks, sometimes leading to amnesia after seizures. 6. Forensic and clinical concerns. Before we close, it's important to remember the broader implications. Memory problems are not only clinical, they are also legal and ethical issues. Eyewitness testimony, once considered gold standard evidence, is now recognized as highly unreliable because memory is malleable. False memories can be planted, and real memories can be altered by suggestion or bias. Conclusion. To summarize, memory is not a perfect recording device. It is a dynamic, reconstructive system that can be derailed by trauma, disease, and suggestion. From the tragedy of Alzheimer's disease to the courtroom drama of false testimony, the psychology of memory disorders reminds us how deeply memory shapes identity, justice, and human connection. As you continue your studies, keep asking, if memory defines who we are, what happens when memory fails?